Hi everyone, and welcome back to Keep the Peace, Sokoda here. Recently, I was on a bit of a summer vacation. I took a trip to LEGOLand Germany in Günzburg, and I had the opportunity to watch the new LEGO Dreamzzz 4D movie, which is called Z-Blob Rescue Rush. The movie was written by Tommy Andreasen, and I haven't seen a lot of people talk about it, so I wanted to make a short video giving my thoughts on it and doing like a mini review. But before I get into the actual movie itself, I also wanted to show off some of the other Dreamzzz stuff they had at LEGOLand. And I think I'll just show some of that footage while I talk about the movie later on too. In front of the LEGO Studios area, which is where they showed the movie itself, there were these huge Bunchu and Z-Blob statues in the waiting area, which were really cool. People could take pictures with them, and they were really impressive builds. They looked so good. They also had these little tables for kids where they can use bricks to build their own dream creatures. And then there was a special room they could go inside, where they have like a cool Dreamzzz wallpaper. They blasted the Dreamzzz soundtrack. And they had light up shelves where you could display your little creations. And you can get your own certified Dream Chaser ID card, which is really funny. There was also this little activity throughout the whole park where you could go on a little treasure hunt. They were hiding letters around the park with these little Dream standees. And if you get all the letters and fill out the code word, which is pretty easy to guess, you get a little comic at the entrance as a prize. So overall, there were some really cool ideas there. I think they definitely got kids interested in Dreamzzz, and I think that's some very good marketing for the new theme. But without further ado, I want to talk about the actual movie, and I want to start spoiler-free with my overarching thoughts about the movie. The movie is 15 minutes long, so it's a bit shorter than your usual Dreamzzz episode. I was originally wondering if it's gonna be in German, but it actually wasn't, and that didn't really matter, because there weren't that many actual talking lines from the characters. Most of it was just shouting their names, or maybe a quick line like, "Hey, what's up?" and those were actually in English, but not a lot of talking. Because this movie was kind of mostly action, it was very fast-paced, showed off the action, showed off some of the characters, but not a lot of like actual dialogue. Because of that, the movie was able to do a lot of 4D stuff though. Of course, you had to wear your 3D goggles, and there were some effects like wind and other stuff like that. What I was a bit surprised about is that there was no like shaking of the seats, which I usually associate with 4D movies, but maybe they just don't have that technology at this LEGOLand I was at, and they have it at other places. I'm not sure about that. Overall, I thought they used the effects very nicely. There were a couple of the 3D effects that were a bit in your face, but overall the effects worked very well to enhance the stories, and some of them were really surprising and cool. I assume this movie is non-canon, even though the story it tells kinda would probably fit somewhere into the canon story, as it's a very simple Dreamzzz adventure. And I think that's what it's all about. It's a fun adventure to show up the 4D effects and the theme in general, and I think if I watched this as a kid, I'd get interested in LEGO Dreamzzz, so I think it did its job well. Okay, I think now it's time for spoilers. I'm gonna start telling you basically what the movie's about and all of the effects, so if you plan on watching it and you want to be surprised, maybe click off this video now. Okay, the story starts out in the real world at night. They use some cool wind effects to set the mood. We move to Izzy and Mateo's bedroom where Z-Blob is jumping around happily while they're going to bed. And then they wake up in the dream world. We're in the classic landing area, and it's kind of your classic introduction to the dream world, like in the TV show. We're in that landing area with the tree, and we go through one of the portal/doors where it brings you to one of the dream world islands. And this is a really cool sequence, flying through the air. There's the little elves, they meet up with Zoe in the air. They have some cool wind effects, and they project like lights on the sides next to the actual screen of the theater. That was a really cool sequence. They land in one of the dream worlds where there's a party organized by Logan and Cooper, who shows off his soccer moves while Logan is the DJ. But the Grimmspawn of course show up, and the Night Hunter is here. And that was a really cool sequence too. There's like clouds forming when the Grimmspawn first show up, and they have a little bit of rain sprinkling over the audience. That was a lot of fun. The Night Hunter has this weird bubble gun where he captures people in bubbles with, which was kind of funny, and his goal is of course to capture Z-Blob. The gang uses their dream crafting. We get Bunchu and the Croc car from the sets. Funnily, they actually used dream crafting to turn Logan into his blue form. That was kind of a fun thing. But the Night Hunter manages to capture Z-Blob in this. He's actually more competent here than he is in the TV show, I guess. The gang follows him, and the Night Hunter escapes to the mountains we saw in the Yeti episode, the Pillow Peaks. So they hunt him there, the hunt continues, and they end up on the Nightmare Shark ship, where the Nightmare King is, of course, and they have a big battle. And Mateo uses dream crafting in this like big epic final scene. And they had a really cool effect here where they basically rained foam from the ceiling, but they projected yellow light on it so it looked like the dream sand. And that was like a big wow moment in the audience. And of course, with the dream crafting, they managed to defeat all the bad guys and escape with Z-Blob. And of course, the day is saved and the good guys win. But that was a lot of fun. It was very fast, high energy, action packed. And I liked that a lot. It was very simple, but it gets you interested in the show. Even though the characters don't really talk, it's mostly just like, oh, Mateo, Izzy, hey, what's up? Like short lines, yelling names. Even though they don't really talk, they seem to act in character. You kind of can read like, okay, Logan is like the cocky, cool guy, and Mateo is a bit more reserved than the others maybe. So they acted in character. It gets you interested in the characters. It has all the main characters from the main group and the Nightmare King and the Night Hunter. So it introduces you to all of the important concepts of Dreamzzz with like having some cool action and some wow moments with the 4D effects. And I think that's the goal of this. They want to get kids introduced to Dreamzzz, and I think this is like a really good way to get introduced to Dreamzzz in 15 minutes. So yeah, those are my overarching thoughts about Z-Blob Rescue Rush. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of a bit of a different, but I thought, hey, maybe make a video about something like this that a lot of people probably won't see. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more fun LEGO content here on Keep the Peace.